Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the March 2021 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for the Town of Carmel. The board members' names are in front of you on the podium, and with us is Town Code Enforcement Officer Mike Carnazza and Town Council Joe Charbonneau. The way we operate is I'll ask you to come up, I'll swear you in, you present your case, we'll ask the board and any members if they have any questions or concerns, then I'll open it up to the public. Once a case is closed, there's no further input from the public, and if there's any repetitive public comments or questions, please keep it limited to, you know, the same comments, different comments if going to be similar. Will you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
When you guys come up to the podium, I think it's okay if you're going to be by yourself to keep your mask off so we can, this is being recorded and it's for minutes, so the more concise you are able to speak, I'm going to ask everyone to speak into the microphone so it's recorded, and then I'll just ask you to, if anyone comes up, just sign on the sign-on sheet that's on there, and then just, you know, wipe down the counter after you're up here in front of us. All right, the first application tonight is Barbara Hallers for variation of section 156-15, seeking permission to retain a pool with a deck, or pool with a pool deck. Property is located at 23 Avery Road, Carmel, New York, and is known as tax map 55.2-1-32.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Raise your right hand. State your name and address for the...
Barbara Hallers, 23 Ivory Road, Carmel.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
I don't. Just bring the microphone closer if you can. Okay. So you have a pool and a pool deck. How long has the deck been there for?
We bought house 2017 and already was.
Okay, you didn't realize you needed a variance and a permit for it?
No, we didn't know.
That's why how Mike just got picked up by...
It didn't get picked up when they purchased, but it got picked up now, correct?
Yeah.
Also,
Oh, so you're selling the house?
Excuse me?
So it got picked up on title search?
We sold already house.
Oh, okay.
But when you purchased it, it was not picked up, correct?
When we purchased, we didn't know that was illegal.
Correct.
Okay. It's not a very big variance, but did you talk to your neighbors on the other side? I mean, did anybody have any issue with it?
No.
If you had to remove it, what would the cost be to remove it, roughly?
How much would be?
Yeah, a couple $1,000s
About 20,000.
to remove it? Okay.
I could do it for 10.
I hear 5. Anybody? 5? All right, board members, any questions, comments on this? Rose?
Yeah, I was out there, and I was a little concerned about it being towards the front of the house, and I wanted to know if we could possibly screen it, maybe put some trees in front so it's not so obvious to the street. I don't know if anybody else was out there and feels that way.
I was out there and there was snow on the ground. I know it's pretty well screened on the left side, and the property line's a little deceiving. It's actually closer than where the trees are, but there's some nice healthy trees on that left side,
But on the front,
on the front.
I thought the front...
We
needed a
have
little-
2 trees on the front, but not on the pool. We have on the house, on the front of the house.
But it doesn't cover the pool at all. You could see the pool from the street?
Yeah, but it's very high fence. I don't know.
I don't know, if anybody else was out there, maybe they could say something about it.
Anybody else get a chance to take a
That's a
look at it?
6-foot-high fence there, right? I was Going out there around, and it wraps
Mm-hmm.
around the pool,
I cheated, use Google Maps.
basically on 3 sides.
Yeah, that was when we bought the house.
So there's a lot of privacy in there. When you're in the pool, can you see the street? I didn't think so. I can't see a pool.
It's just the fence is,
Well, there's a fence there.
Yeah.
On top of a deck. It's
Yeah.
an interesting
Which is-
detail, not a usual detail.
the fence is on top of the deck.
Yes.
So you can, I just thought since you can see it from the road, it might look better to people passing by if there were a couple trees in front of it, but that's up to you.
Yeah,
I'm only one
I mean,
vote.
it's far, it satisfies the setback for the front setback, so it's not, you know, I don't think that's where the issue would be. If there were any issue, it would be on the left side. And we'll see if there's any neighbors here. I'll open up to the public in a minute. Julie, any questions, concerns? Sylvia?
No questions.
No
John,
question.
all set? John?
No, no further questions.
Okay, I'll open it up to questions and whatnot from the public.
Actually,
Come on up, ma'am, let him speak into the microphone.
You have to come up to the mic.
State your name and address
state
for the
your name.
record, please. Speak into the microphone.
yes, my name is Luis Palomino, my wife Wanda Palomino. We are the new owners, 23 Avery Road. And
Can you guys, if you're both going to speak, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
yes. Okay, that was actually after we purchased the house, the insurance company called me and they say that they needed a barrier between the house and the pool. So that's what I did. Now, if you drive through, I put some fencing on that side. So between the house and the
Yeah, we saw
pool,
that.
there's fence there, and both sides of the. She won't be able to see it from the street anymore.
Okay, because I saw it from the street. Like, I could see the pool when I was there.
How are you guys able to close on the house without this issue being resolved, right? Would be,
They do it with escrow sometimes. There's ways around doing things.
That's what it was. Yes.
cash is
Cash always works, too.
Okay. Anybody else from the public have any input, questions, or concerns? Okay.
Write your name, sir, on the list that you
Yeah,
talked.
please. You and your wife, I'm sorry.
Well, we have another person.
Hold on a second, let him, so we can keep socially distant here. It's over. You told it's over? Nobody closed it. It's your fault. Not according to our governor.
When did you put up the fence? Because I was there
Sir, just speak
I
into
was
the
there-
microphone, please.
before, I guess, the fence went up. Because I
Yeah,
was
it was.
there.
I finished it last Saturday, I believe. It
Yeah,
was.
so I was there the prior week.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
okay,
too.
what
That's
it was,
why.
yes.
But I saw something being, was it under construction?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you start it sooner? I thought I saw something in progress.
Well, yeah, because I don't know why, but the insurance company they're like, listen, we're gonna cancel your insurance if you don't do it. I'm like, but it's first of all, it's 20 degrees outside. I can't put any poles. They're like, no, you have to do it. I said, listen, the pool is empty. Nobody's gonna go in the pool. That was the whole problem. They don't want any kids or anything, even though there is already a fence around the pool and there is a small,
Well, that's why
gate.
it's code to have a
they
fence around the
still want,
pool.
yeah, but this fence is
Neighbors.
6 foot. I went
kids.
6 feet all around, so now.
Yeah,
They said, okay, I send them pictures, they say, fine. That
Okay.
was the whole thing.
I saw it last week before you put the fence in.
Okay, that's-
That's why.
All right, let this gentleman be heard. State your name and address for the record, sir.
Ralph Zucker, 3171 Lakefront Avenue, Mohegan Lake. I'm sorry,
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay.
I was their attorney for the purchase of the house.
Okay.
And there was 2 issues relative to the pool. I was going to ask if the other one was addressed. Aside from the variance, there was an issue relative to a C of O for the fence, for the deck around the pool. And I know that was supposed to be addressed at some point. I don't know if you guys have addressed that yet?
It's not in front of us on this application, but the code enforcement officer can speak to that, I think. Mike?
No, this is a pool with a pool deck.
I'm sorry, say again?
This application is for a pool with a pool deck.
Oh, okay.
So
it's-
once if they get the variance, then they apply for building permit, get a permit, and then a CO comes after that.
Okay, so after they get the variance, then they have to put in for the C of O after that?
For building permit, and then when we inspect it, if it passes and you get the electrical and everything else, you get a CO.
Okay, thank you.
Just fill out your name and address on that sheet, please. All right, there's no further input from the public on this application. I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Rose, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Application number 2 this evening is Craig Kehoe for variation of section 15615, seeking permission to increase size of landing and stairs straight out due to our child with cerebral Palsy, sorry. Current landing is small with stairs to the side. Property is located at 36 Secor Road, Mahopac, New York. Tax map 74.42-1-3. Ma'am, you're the applicant. We
don't
have the
have to.
information. Thank you.
That's okay. Have a good night.
Good night.
Hello,
Good evening, folks.
Hello.
good evening.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Kathleen Keough, 36 Secor Road, Mayapack, New York,
Just
10541.
speak clearly into the mic if you can, please. Turn-
Kathleen Keough, 36 Secor Road.
All right, and you are?
Craig Keough, 36 Secor.
Okay, right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so, tell us your situation.
The bluestone of the stairs are falling apart. The way the stairs are set up, the stairs go down the side of the house, the front of the house, and the stairs are very close to the front door, and we have adopted a child with CP, and we just want to make the landing a little wider and safer for him to get out. He is walking, but very unbalanced. We have proof of his diagnosis.
Okay, I met you out there last week or whatever,
Yeah.
week and a half ago. I saw the situation, the stairs are pretty hazardous. So is the intent to remove the old stairs completely and then have the
Completely.
landing come straight out?
And we're doing wood just to make it more cost-effective.
Understood. You know, I understand you have a small frontage because of the size of the property, but I think in this situation, knowing your circumstance, there's a little more leniency towards this, so. You know, I think it's well screened too. I think you had some bushes coming around the
We're
front.
going to
of the-
take those out and put new shrubbery in once it's finished.
Okay, so
Because I don't think it
kinda
will take
dress it
well
up and-
taking it out in the cold.
And what kind of railing and all that? Just a
Just a
simple?
regular wood, nothing
Colonial.
fancy, nothing crazy, just
Okay.
safe.
Understood. All right, start down here. John, any questions?
Yeah, you know, that's a tight area over there. You know, the homes,
Yes.
they're sort of close together, and it's definitely in disrepair, so that's a good improvement to do. You need it. Yeah, no, I could see. What year was that built?
40,
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, no questions, Sean.
Silvio?
No questions.
Julie?
No.
No questions, thank you.
Rose?
No questions.
Okay, any input from the public on this application? Going once, going twice. I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion, seconded.
Seconded by Phil. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, folks.
thanks. Did you need the proof that I have that he's? his
If you want to
diagnosis?
submit it for the record,
Okay,
sure, we'll
I'll
take.
give it to you.
Thanks, Rose. All right, next application, number 3, Carl Finelli, for variation of section 156-15, seeking permission to retain an already existing pergola. Property is located at 11 Rose Drive, Mahopac, New York, tax map 86.5-1-49. Good evening, folks. State your names and address for the record, please.
Carl Finelli, 11 Rose Drive, Mayapack, New York, 10541.
Ma'am? Okay, raise your right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Give us your situation here, and
Behind my deck, I don't know if you guys came out to the house, we're under construction, we've been doing a lot of stuff over the years. We got married 2 years ago, had a baby. 6
Congratulations.
months ago, so it's time to renovate the house, it used to be a bachelor pad. So
those days are
basically-
over, buddy.
The fun is done. So.
Where do you have the
I had
noose?
an existing deck that was on the house when I purchased it. I did fix the deck going way back. I owned the house since 2005. I built the pergola on a Sunday. I went to Home Depot, bought some pressure-treated wood, put a little overhang behind the deck. Wasn't aware that I needed a variance. It's just like some pressure-treated wood, 2x6s up, and it's just, I put some landscape lighting around it, and that was it.
And the pergola starts at full to see from the street, so
Yeah, I
it's
saw
not
that.
really changing the characteristics.
It's been there 12 years.
I was 12 years, I
12
didn't
years,
know if
yeah.
I caught that or not. I know you guys just came through us a couple of years ago, right?
Or, yeah,
For
we
the
had to
garage?
get a variance for a garage, correct.
All right, if you had to remove it, what's the cost that would be involved?
2 hours. 2 hours worth of work. I would do it. It's
Well,
not a big deal.
for a union carpenter, that could be costly.
I own an HVAC company, so
Okay.
yeah, I'm handy. Yeah, no problem.
All right, and there's no other place you can locate that to bring it into conformance?
No,
I
it
mean,
was a
it's kinda
Sunday
tight.
hobby, to be honest with you. It was.
Yeah, it looks like,
I was
if I
born on
remember,
a Sunday and built it.
I'm sorry, if I remember seeing you had enough screening there of natural shrubs down that property line on the right side?
Sure.
Right, okay. All right, Rose, any questions?
Why is this coming up now? Did you get a notice of violation,
I
or?
really don't know. Yeah.
Notice of violation from me,
Okay.
from my department.
All right, no other questions?
No questions, thank you.
Julie?
No.
Sil?
Nope.
John? Nothing? John?
What's the width of that?
16 feet.
16 feet? Is that the right size, you think, or,
For the pergola.
yeah?
It's built behind the deck, so I don't know if you came and you saw like I have pictures of it if you want to see. I can put it on the computer.
John, there's a deck to the right of the house, and this is steps
Yeah.
back to a
I
terrace.
could see it, yeah.
And we have a
it's kinda-
pool, so it's kind of like just a barbecue area. We sit at a table.
The pergolas are 24 inches on center?
I think they're actually closer than that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's actually closer than that.
I think they were
Probably been 16 on
I think they were
center when I
16.
built it. It was
Yeah.
so long ago.
And what's on the floor?
Just papers.
Pavers are there.
Unilock. Yeah. I have Unilock around the entire house, and we Belgian blocked the driveway and everything. I'm just trying to clean everything up.
But it's the right size. In other words, if you took a few feet off the edge and pulled it in, would it be a big deal?
It's like, so if the house sits, you have the deck,
Right.
so that with the, like the length of the deck, it's behind the deck, so it's actually more in my property than the deck is. So I wasn't aware that I needed a variance. Like, I really didn't, honestly, I didn't know about that. You know, it wasn't really a major thing.
It happens. Any input from the public on this application? Ma'am? You guys, yeah, just step aside to keep distant. State your names and address for the record, please.
Kim Kowalski, 15 Rose Drive, Mayapack, New York.
Robert Kowalski, 15 Rose Drive.
All right, so if you guys could speak up, if you're going to keep your mask on, just speak up so we can pick it up on the microphone. And don't forget to sign the paper when you leave. Let us know what your concerns are. Oh, let me swear you in. Right hands, please. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Here.
We are the immediate neighbors to the left of the applicant. I have a question that relates to the timing and the applicant's compliance with the rules and truthful disclosure on the application forms previously submitted.
I'm sorry, ma'am, can you turn the microphone down? And it's hard to hear you with the mask on.
Would you like me to repeat that?
For the benefit of the stenographer, please.
I have a question that relates to the timing and the applicant's compliance with your rules and truthful disclosure on the application forms previously submitted. Specifically, I would like to know the reason why this application is only before your board at this time when it relates to a structure that was clearly on the property when the owner received his variance in 2018. It appears clear from your records that despite the rules and the content of your application forms, the 2018 variance was granted to allow a very significant construction on the property. This applicant was before the ZBA and was granted a variance of 4 feet for a side yard setback for a 30-foot by 30-foot, two-story garage in October of 2018. Your application form requires identification of all structures on the property and the submission of a survey showing such. The submitted application listed existing improvements as a one-family dwelling, pool, and shed. At that time, the greenhouse and pergola structures were already in existence. So why was this not disclosed to this board before authorizing the variance for a significant additional structure? The applicant provided, whether intentionally or unintentionally, an inaccurate and simply misleading application when in 2018, he requested a variance for the garage. He neglected to include these additional structures on his application and on his survey. This is why he is back here today seeking relief for the unpermitted pergola. The current application submission before you lists existing improvements as pergola, one-family dwelling, garage, shed, and greenhouse. The applicant presents a disingenuous application, a significant property improvement of a stone wall that runs 100 feet along the front property line and has 4-foot, 6-foot high electrified stone columns flanking an unpermitted curb cut has not been listed on this application. Why not list the significant property improvement? Perhaps because the stone wall and columns are erected 8 feet into the town's right-of-way. This applicant was issued 2 notices of violation listing multiple violations, one on June 26th and one on August 21st in 2020. These violations include an encroachment on my property. The applicant used my property to support a parking area in the 11-foot side yard of the garage to park his construction van. Coverage, has maximum coverage been exceeded, and is there going to be the need for further variances? At this time, other than the pergola, this application is not being submitted to address any other outstanding violation. Accordingly, why would you hear this application with these multiple violations outstanding? This applicant has disregarded the town's law and has built structures and made his property improvements without filing for and obtaining the proper permits prior to beginning work. I would also like to note for the record, this applicant has been issued a summons to appear in court for these violations, but court has been delayed due to COVID. Had this applicant filed a proper truth with ZBA application in 2018, would this board have granted a variance for the garage? Shouldn't there be some consequences for not providing the necessary appropriate information by this board, required by this board? The applicant's survey shows his property is overburdened with structures and such has an adverse effect on the neighborhood and certainly on my property. This applicant is looking for relief for one of 5 violations for which he has had for 7 months, which is sufficient time to have come into compliance. Should you be granting a variance when there are maybe other potentially illegal structures on the property? This is 100% a self-created hardship and is clearly significant. It is because of the applicant's deception. Should there be a reward for this deception? Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mike, have there been violations issued
Yes, there have.
from your department?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Court was closed. Joe can explain the court thing, because I don't have the exact thing, but we're only allowed to bring 10.
They're limited. Court's reopening on Monday in terms of civil code compliance issues. So at some point, that matter will be before the Justice Court. I'm not sure which judge it's before, which I will handle. Because of the staggered nature of court, CDC compliance issues, they're limited as to the number of code compliance cases that can be brought on any given evening.
so hence the duration?
So it could stretch into the next few months, because there is a backlog.
Okay, so that's understood, that answers that.
But the whole idea of having code violations and having people come before the Zoning Board of Appeals is to rectify those, which is compliance, which is what we want. So I think that answers one of your questions.
As far as structures, stone walls, I mean, Mike, you can speak to that, there's not any code.
There is a structure that runs from one side to the other across the front of the property with 2 curb cuts where the driveways come in. A curb cut was put in without a permit, I guess closest to 6N1. They went over to Mike Simone, and I don't know what the outcome was there, but they said they went over to speak to Mr. Simone. The stone wall is in the right-of-way.
But
Okay,
that's
so
at their own risk, right? If something's got to happen from the town to take it over, and it has to get destroyed, so be it.
I called Mr. Simone about that also, and I spoke to him, and I guess, he's going to have to determine if that's in their way, or if they mind it, or if they want it there, or if they want it removed.
Okay. So that's not really, under this board's jurisdiction. Right now, in front of us tonight is just this pergola. So, hopefully you've been satisfied with some of the answers here from town council and code enforcement officer.
I'm concerned about the application not being completed, didn't list that improvement.
Unfortunately, what happens a lot is people don't realize they need variances, or, we get sheds all the time. They get sold by a company that's selling them a shed, and they never tell them, people that, it happens 9 times out of 10 in front of us, and,
This man's in construction, he deals with
Well, there's, different facets of construction. I'm a construction myself, and, I know because I do general contracting on a larger scale, but sometimes people don't. And I'm not defending or, supporting, but I'm just telling you, it happens a lot in front of us. Most of the cases are because of people just don't know that they need variances for this or permits for that and what have you. So,
Well, I'm just concerned about the length of time and correcting things. Like I said, there's an encroachment on my property. One of those columns, even though it's the town's right of way, traverses over what imaginary property line. That's the side of my house where my kitchen is, and we were talking about putting a driveway there, and that would inhibit access to my yard.
okay, have you reached out to Mike's office?
I've reached out to Mike several
Okay.
times.
So, I mean, unfortunately, and there's human error sometimes when a permit comes under Mike. I mean, there's a lot of work under his plate, and
I
even though with
understand
some
that.
help, they can't get to everything.
I
And
totally
sometimes things
understand that.
are overlooked. I'm defending him in a certain aspect here.
Well, this is kind of a rock and a hard place, because Mike's not really responsible for the town's right of way and the
Correct.
highway,
No,
just
but as far as
doesn't
it
pay
being picked up
attention.
when their application came by a couple of years ago for the garage, you can't see everything. Not everything's on paper, and you're limited sometimes to get out and look at every actual property, but, I'll defend his.
No, but Mrs. Kowalski's saying that the wall that is put is from property line to property line, except off the property, so it's in the right-of-way.
It's
So
8
if
feet
you
into the
imaginary
right-of-way.
lined it forward, it would be in front of their house. It would be past that imaginary property line that continued up into the right-of-way. I
I
believe
have a
that's what
copy
you're
of the
saying.
as-built survey. Do you have that?
But it's not on your property line.
Well, the right of way is not my property, but it does, if you extend my property line up to the street, it's about 2 feet over the property line onto my property side of that.
It's not on your property, though, but it's over the line
The
of your
imaginary
property.
line.
Yeah, if you continue.
It's in the
to-
right-of-way.
Correct,
But it's not on your property.
correct.
I know what you're saying. I could see that clearly on this site plan. Yeah.
As well as the encroachment.
Did you have a surveyor out here?
Let's wait.
I'm sorry. Can I ask that?
The one at a
Hold on,
time.
hold on. He's got to come back to the dais so we can hear him. Wait.
Guys, will you let him be heard, please, if you can give him the podium?
Right. 4 rows.
So basically, when the wall was built, all right, I'm going to explain. I'm the first house on the block.
Talking to the mic, please.
Yes. I'm the first house on the block. Like I said, I've been there since 2005. My block, they drive 60 miles an hour down, and garbage is all over the street. I can show you pictures of it, okay? I've constructed a wall because we were having a baby. God forbid, I have a baby in the front yard, somebody comes flying down, at least it protects it. So when I constructed that wall, they had a previous fence that was in the location. That was there from when I built the house. So the wall, corner of it's one pillar, and the pillars are 4 feet high. They're exactly 48 inches. They're actually a little lower than 48 inches. You can come and measure them, they're not 6 feet high. The wall itself is probably like a sitting wall. It's exactly at 30 inches. So it's a very low wall. Now, I did go to Highway and ask about the curb cut, and there was a back and forth between the building department and Highway, and everybody said, nobody gave me a straight answer, but nobody said I couldn't do it. So when the wall was constructed, we had a fence there. So that pillar, the corner of that pillar was on the existing fence that was there for 18 years for where I built the house. That was their fence, okay? I have pictures of that going back. I can show you. I got pictures. I got my computer. I can pull up whatever you want. I'm not even going to get into that topic, but their fence was basically half missing. So when I constructed the garage and finished the garage, I hired Campanella Fence. We had a survey done. We put our fence 1 foot in on the property line. We ran a beautiful PVC fence. I paid for 100% of it. The neighbors did not pay for it. Their fence was gone, and it went from a beautiful, like an eyesore of a fence, to a really nice fence. And I paid everything, and that was all after we had every property staked. I have pictures of the fence if you want to see. I can give you. I have 100 pictures right here on my laptop. I can show you whatever you want, and I can show you dated back. So
Is it possible to move that wall?
the wall? There's no possibility to move the wall, but if I were to move the wall, I do understand that the road is 50 feet.
Where the wall sits, the property slopes. So there's about, I'm going to roughly say, I'm exactly 4 feet from the pavement of the road back.
Before it slopes down.
Right, and then it slopes. And then there's a telephone pole behind it. So it was the right location for the wall.
But if you're encroaching on town property,
So are a lot of people.
I understand that,
So
but if
I
you're,
basically went, the road is 50 feet wide, and if you go 50 feet wide from 19, I know the original builders, I actually worked for them, the house was built in 54. So when that was separate, like if you look at the old road, there's a lot of road, they would lose half their front yard. You know?
Can I ask a question about the electric?
The whole
Oh,
block
sorry.
is encroaching on town property. Also, where they're saying that they would put their driveway would be encroaching on town property also.
I just want to remind everybody, that the case in point in front of us tonight is for the pergola only. If you have an issue with the wall, that's an issue that's going to be determined from the highway superintendent. If he has no issue, if he does have an issue, he'll cite you and have you remove it. If they have to take something by domain, they have the right to knock that wall down if it's built. So that risk is on you, if you have something built on the property. That's what I've always known in construction my whole life. So, you know, that's what it comes down to, but that's a separate issue than what's in front of this board right now. What's in front of this board right now is this pergola and a 50% variance, or not, I'm sorry, yeah, 50% variance of a 10-foot setback. So keep that in mind, everybody. All right, I mean, as far as the issue with the highway superintendent, that's not for us to decide on tonight or what have you, or consider.
You know, I almost got to say, no other neighbors, so where the pergola is, those neighbors there, nobody else is complaining. I got to be honest, these people have batted out for me for whatever reason.
All right.
They've
Okay,
been attacking
that's,
me for
that
day
sounds
one,
like a
just
civil
for
issue
no
that's
reason.
also not for this board's purview.
And
So.
it's become a quality of life issue, and it's constant harassment. So I'm willing to go to court with an attorney,
Right,
and we're going to go after harassment.
Okay.
The issue right now is the pergola, so
Correct.
we want to sit, that's what we're
Exactly.
for right now.
Let's stay tuned to that, all right? I'll afford you guys another opportunity to speak, to respond. Other than that, does anybody else have any input on this application? Okay.
As to the pergola, ma'am.
Pergola.
I would just ask that this board look at this as a whole. There are many items on his violations. I don't see how, if somebody's not coming into compliance, has dragged their feet, has an encroachment on my property as a result of building this garage and refuses to remove it or acknowledge it, be rewarded for not, I mean, there's no penalty for building stuff without a permit. I mean, he's gotten other permits since he's gotten those violations. You know, I don't know the town code laws and whether they need to be updated to, you know, to keep people from building and continue to build without being properly permitted.
Okay. We'll take your concerns and weigh it when we
Thank you
adjudicate.
very much.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
guys. All right, no further input on this application. I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next application is number 4, Zoila Matolo, for variation of section 15615, seeking permission to retain shed, gazebo, and garage. Property is located at 171 Bucks Hollow Road, Mahopac, New York, tax map 75.16-1-6. Good evening, folks.
I think the young guy interprets
You
for the
interpreting,
parents.
sir?
All right. take
All right,
off
I
the
need you,
masks.
well, state your name and address for the record, please. A nombre in the, por favor.
Good evening.
Just turn the mic down.
Good evening. My name is Zoila Matalo. My address is 171 Bucks-Hollow Road, Mahopac, New York.
And your husband's name?
My name is Manuel Chiogalli.
And youngster?
My name is Justin Chilagali.
Okay. We all raise your right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay.
And we got to swear in the kid.
I-
He's gonna-
What? I just swore them all in.
All right, there you go. My friend, the little amigo.
¿Cómo se llama again? Perdón.
What's your name?
Justin?
Justin, okay.
Justin.
Justin, you swear to translate truthfully from Spanish to English and English into Spanish for us to help us out? Thank you.
All right, Justin, do me a favor, because your voice is a little low. Just pull your mask down and speak closely into the microphone, please.
Okay. So we want to get permits for the shed, gazebo, and a garage.
Okay. How many years have you guys lived at the house?
We went to the house 2016. We've been for 5 years.
There you go, yeah, that might be
Yeah,
better.
we've been there for 5 years. Yeah.
So you've owned the house for 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
And how long have those items been there? The shed, the gazebo, and the garage?
The gazebo, the shed, and the garage were all there when we bought the house.
So it never got picked up? When you
Yeah.
buy a house, there's a title search, the company's supposed to research all this stuff, so how long do you think those items have been there? Do you know from the history of the house or the previous owner?
No, we don't know.
You don't know. So if you had to relocate these items, and there would be a cost involved, right? Someone would have to, in other words, to make it conform to compliance and be within the setback, it would cost money to relocate the shed and garage. So
Yeah.
there's got to be a dollar value to that. Is it like $10,000? Is it $15,000? $20,000?
For the gazebo, he thinks it's like gonna be like 2,000.
Okay. And the garage was built into the house, so that's a little more construction and
Yeah.
removal involved. Okay, my guesstimation and my professional opinion, it probably would be $30,000, $20,000, somewhere around there. There's no other property you guys can buy, right? Everyone owns the land all around you on all three sides? You wouldn't be able to buy any other property to bring them into conformance?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, some tight variances here, especially the gazebo's right up on the property line, but you've owned the house for 6 years, you said? 5 years? Okay. Anybody ever complain? Any neighbors, any issues?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll open it up to the board. John, any questions?
Justin, is that your quad under the gazebo? Do you use that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you use it a lot? Does it start up? That's good.
He wants to buy it from you. It's got a plow on it. You plow the snow, right? All right. Silvio?
I got no questions.
Jewel? Rose?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm skipping over. I'm trying to go zigzag here.
You have a chicken coop attached, you have a chicken coop next to the shed?
Yes, we do.
Why are you not going for a variance on that?
Are there chickens in there? I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, we were gonna remove that. We were.
So-
Solo vamos a remover. No, we are.
Can I interrupt?
Go ahead, Mike.
They don't have the land, I don't think, to get they would need a variance for that. So I think they chose not to do that part.
All right, so you're doing away with the chicken coop.
You're gonna take it, you're gonna get rid of the chicken coop?
I'm sorry. The chicken coop have roof like this, but when I came out here, I'm talking with somebody. I'm not remember his name. He said we have to remove the
roof.
Yeah, he said just we need get the flat roof. Can get it like that. Now the chicken coop is like that, the flat roof.
Can you keep a chicken? You don't have enough property to have chickens.
No.
Yeah, how big's
No,
your
no,
lot?
we don't have nothing there.
No-
Yeah,
no
we don't have
chickens.
any more chickens. We
Yeah,
can,
that's what I thought. They
All right,
So we
so,
can get rid of it?
yeah. All right, as a condition to this, make sure that the chicken coop is removed, and that's going to go, Mike's going to know about it, so if he goes to inspect, make sure it's out of there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we have to move all that.
Remove it.
No más pollo, no más pollo.
Yeah, no, we don't have.
And why is this coming out now? Why are we here now?
Okay, ahora. Because we got the thing from violation.
A
Yeah,
violation?
so
that's
serve the violation. Okay.
What is the shed being used for?
Oh, because my dad, he has some tools, so he just puts stuff like that, like a lawnmower and stuff like that.
Could the quad go in the shed?
The quad? No, we don't put it in the, no.
But can it go in there? Is there room?
I think it's raised, if
No.
I remember seeing.
There's a,
I don't think there's room. Maybe. Pero manden a moto ahí.
I think it was probably out because it just snowed.
No, I think it does fit, but we don't put it there.
okay. Because the gazebo is, you just have assorted things under the gazebo. It's not used for the family to sit and have dinner or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
And you actually have 3 sheds, correct? 2 by the house and then the one that you're going for a variance? Is that right?
No, we only have one shed and one gazebo.
What, the 2 beige ones, is that your neighbor's house?
Oh, yeah, that's the neighbors.
That's the neighbor's.
All right, I have nothing further. Thank you. Justin, good job.
Okay, anybody in the public have any input, questions, concerns on this application? I look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, guys.
John, we shouldn't have closed it. There was one letter that was submitted in support.
Okay, that's fine, it's in support.
Yep.
It's
Just
in the
wanted to-
record,
I forgot
so.
that for the record.
All right, thank you, guys.
No, they're.
No, they're the applicant.
Okay, thank you.
Buenas noches. Okay, next this evening is number 5, Lucas and Catarizina Fatalan, sorry for the butchering of the last name. Variation of section 156-39.5, seeking permission to construct chicken coop run for 6 chickens. The property is located at 71 Willow Trail Court, Carmel, New York, tax map 44.10-1-7. Good evening. State your name and address for the record.
Katarzyna Paralan, 71 Willow Trail Court, Carmel, New York.
All right, right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I met you out there 2 weeks ago, 2 weekends ago. So you want to add a chicken coop, but it's only allowed for a property twice the size.
Just about, yeah.
It's 6 chickens allowed per 40.48 acres. And you're looking for 6 chickens for a variance of 0.52 acres. You know, I met you out there, the property's well-maintained, very meticulous. You have a whole heck of a lot of letters in support for this application.
Yes, all my
Did you
neighbors.
promise them eggs?
Sounds like it.
You're going to be paying for one.
They did request some eggs if I get approved.
You didn't have to answer that question.
No, I mean, so, just explain, some of these neighbors are, you explained it to me when I was there, there's one across the street, one immediately next door.
So the letters are from all of my surrounding neighbors. I have Ms. Lynch to my right, and then the Wongs to my left, which covers both sides of my property. And then across the street, there's 3 houses, and we received the letters of support from those neighbors as well.
Okay, and you explained to me also, on the right side where you want to put this coop is a vacant lot that's not buildable? You want to
Yes.
expand on that a little bit?
It's not buildable because of the way the septic tanks are positioned, so they can't build a house there. I'm not sure how big the lot is, but nothing is there and nobody comes there. And that's the empty lot between our house and the Wongs.
All septics have to be 100 feet from wells, and all wells have to be 100 feet from septics. as a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
And if there are already wells and septics there, it's very difficult to, on smaller lots, to get that compliant.
puzzle it in.
But it's health department rules, it's not us.
Right.
Plus, there's no room behind the house because you're pretty tight to the back property line. And then it slopes down, and driveway's pretty steep, so the only natural spot for this is where they're putting it.
Quick question, John? Are your neighbors in Kent or Carmel?
There's 3 that are in Carmel and 2 that are in Kent.
And does
The
Kent,
Kent line is right in between the house that's next to our house.
does Kent allow chickens?
I have no idea.
Okay, I'm just wondering if it was something, if they were allowed to do them on halves, it would be, a little bit easier to swallow if the neighbor can do it and you can't. And you're right, because they're kind of pushed away in that area. I don't know if it's Hillendale, correct?
Yes, it's the Hillendale.
So you have to actually leave town to get to it. But I was just curious if they allowed them in the adjacent town.
Okay, right, I don't know Kent's code, but,
That's good to know.
all right, I mean, each application's judged on its own merits. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of support for this, so, I don't know, let's see what the board members think. Rose?
Does that deck need a variance? It looks like it's on the property line.
Yes, we had a permit for the deck.
You have a variance? It's very close to the property line, so.
What,
Did you
you
put it
mean
in?
the front?
Yeah. Yeah, the one next to the bridle path? Isn't there a deck here?
There's the porch and the side deck. The side deck,
Is it level to the ground? It's no higher than 12 inches, then it doesn't need a,
no, it's right next to our house. We purchased it with the house. And then the porch, which we're constructing, we do have a permit for. The one in the front. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
That was probably part of the original, the house itself and the deck.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah, they're very close to I don't know how far the setback is, but it's close.
Looks like it's right on the line.
The deck does, yeah.
Yeah.
The house is
But not on
close.
the property line.
Our property, I'm sorry, can you?
You want to see?
is it in the back of the house? The deck in the back of the
No,
house?
it's right off of the.
Side
right off
or the
of
front.
That's the front of the house, John.
It's the front.
That's the side of our house. That's the little wooden deck. It was there when we purchased the house. But our property line runs through here.
And up here, right?
And up here, yes.
Probably existing.
No, it ends with the house.
Oh, the deck ends with the house?
Yes, it doesn't extend past the house.
Well, it's even 3.7, it's still pretty close.
I mean, there's only like a little bit of, I guess like a
Get her hand, Mike.
right behind it, like a little pathway, but it doesn't go all the way to the back of the property line.
Oh,
But I built
yeah, just grab the hand, Mike. Again,
I
it's being
believe
recorded.
our property line ends where the stone wall is.
It's a good move.
Do you recall seeing the stone wall when you?
I didn't look, there was tons of snow. I didn't look in the back of the
Yeah,
house. I just looked from the porch, so.
Yeah,
Built with the house, when the
yes,
house
that was built, I believe so, yes. And when we purchased it, that was already there.
It was already there?
Yes.
So it's most likely conforming to existing, right, Mike? You think?
If they did title and it was done properly, yes. But
Okay.
as you know from the other applications, we don't always
Things happen.
know that.
Well, also, there was like a metal structure in the front. What is that? It was like poles.
Sorry?
It looked like a greenhouse or something?
Oh, that's the garden.
the garden?
It's not a greenhouse. It doesn't have any glass. It has
Right,
like
but
mesh chicken wire.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the garden. It's just it's plopped on top of the garden beds to keep the deer out. It's
Okay.
not, I don't know, it's not, I
Not
don't
like
know
a
what you call
structure.
it. It's not a structure. It's not like dug in. You can kind of pick it up and relocate it.
Okay.
Okay, Phil, any questions?
No other questions?
The chicken coop that was part of your application, that's the one you're going to be using or getting eventually?
We don't have a chicken coop right now.
Right, but part of the application, there was one,
So we are actually considering remaking that garden into the chicken coop.
So
if
you're
we
going to
get
have it in the
approved.
front yard, so you're...
No, we're gonna move it. You can just pick it up and move it.
Oh, the metal structure is going to be...
It's not metal, it's wooden.
And that's how the chicken coops are too. They want them to be able to be moved, so when they do their business, they can move to another spot and let it regrow grass and do everything. That's why they didn't put a fixture on where it has to be. It has to be kept at least, I think it's 15 feet off a property line.
There are some chicken coops actually will roll. like you
They
can
roll,
just-
that's what I'm saying. They
They're
actually
on
do
like a-
that. Oh, automatically?
Automatically,
Got
yeah.
it. But they want these to be movable so that you can
They can
not
pick
have
away
the
at it.
continuous bathroom in the same spot.
I know my chickens.
That's fairly simple.
I have no other questions, thank you.
All right, Julie?
Sylvia? None, no.
John?
Do you know if there's any coyotes in the area?
I mean,
Welcome to Putnam County.
I
Wiley.
haven't seen coyotes, I've seen the fox. I mean, we have a lot of wildlife. We have
Yeah.
You'll have
a
coyotes
woodchuck
soon
that
enough.
we've named Mr. Fatty Waddy, and chipmunks.
Just want to secure that very well.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, my husband, if we get approved, my husband plans on building the wire sort of all around
Underground,
the
yeah.
structure,
They bury
so
under.
that they can't dig under.
Right.
Even though it's very rocky there.
Good luck.
Get the excavator.
Yeah.
All right, any input from the public on this application? I didn't think so, judging from the letters. All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Thank you.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
All right, moving right along. Number 6, House of Prayer and Worship for variation of section 156-15, seeking area variances. The property is located 365 Hill Street, Mahopac, New York, tax map 64.6-1-14. Mr. Greenberg, representing.
Apparently so.
Good evening, Joel Greenberg representing the House of Prayer on Hill Street.
Is that mic on?
Yeah, is that, check the hand mic, Joel. I don't know.
Hello?
Yeah, it sounds the same. All right,
Both on, but they're not.
raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right.
You can take your mask off, Joe. We could.
Yeah.
Want to see your face? Want to see your smile?
Haven't changed it much.
Yeah, but we missed the smile, Joe.
Just a year older, that's all. Okay, if you recall, if you're going down Hill Street, just past Bullet Hole Road, on the left-hand side, you'll see the church, which, believe it or not, was built in 1870. When we started on this project, I was able to research the deeds from the county clerk's office, and we found a deed dated 1870.
Wow.
Anyway, the Methodist, it's been a Methodist church all these years, and they sold it, and now the House of Prayer. Pastor Egan is right here if you have any questions. But they took over the church. It's a beautiful church, as you can see from the picture. It's historic, and
Speak to the mic.
and of course, it's been there all these years, and it's in excellent shape. And the new folks, House of Prayer, have kept it up beautifully to keep it, keep it in good shape. Anyway, to make a long story short, since it's changed ownership, and we are now before the planning board to get site plan approval. And then, of course, we got denied, so we come both to this board, and we've already been to the Environmental Conservation Board, because not on our property, but off our property is a wetland, which the buffer is part of our property. Anyway, but to make a long story short, there's a series of variances, all of which have nothing to do with what we're doing, because it's because of the size of the property, the setbacks, and so on and so forth.
All right, but we're not familiar with the case. What are you doing? What are the improvements? What are the changes that you're seeking?
Basically, the main thing that we're doing is if you recall, there's a big strip of blacktop if you went to see the church recently, which the previous owners used to park, and they were basically pulling it head on. And if you remember, there's a big curve just south of this property,
one of the worst
and the
ones
cars were
in town.
coming along, very, very quickly, obviously. And we decided it's just a dangerous situation to have cars backing off onto Hill Street. So we decided to develop a parking lot, which you see on the drawing here, and basically the variances, as I just said, will relate to the property as they exist, the setbacks, the lot area, and so on and so forth. The only variance that's new in this particular case is the parking variance. The lot is very limited in size, and the code requires one parking space for every 3 seats. Now, where there are 50 seats in the pews, if you add up all the seats in the pews, it comes out to 50. If you divide that by 3, it's about 17 parking spaces. However, the way the House of Prayer works is they have a huge van. A lot of their parishioners are elderly, so they actually go around, pick up the parishioners, bring them to the church, and then bring them back home. So at any particular time, there's usually no more than maybe 15 parishioners at any one time. And there may be, beside the van, there may be 1 or 2 cars. We have a total of 7 cars where 17 is required, so the variance that we're asking for is for 10. And the other variance is this. Again, because a good portion of this property is in the buffer zone, just beyond the 100-foot buffer zone beyond the wetlands, we're asking to have, except for the portion where the handicap spot is, to have gravel instead of pavement, to basically to satisfy the New York City DEP. So those are the only 2 variances that are new. Everything else relates to the existing property.
Yeah, this was hashed out at the planning board. They came in originally trying to put in 2 porta potty, we'll say, and it wasn't
yes,
porta
yes.
potties, but it was portable type potties, bathrooms on the back of the building. And through the process and discussions and everything else, it turned out that they're actually putting real 2 bathrooms on the back, which will be part of the building, correct?
Yes and no.
Okay, so maybe not.
We've, as Mike said, all these years, the only facilities were a porta potty in the back of the building, as Mike just said. So we applied to the Putnam County Health Department to put a well. That's about the only thing we can get, which would have the proper distances to any well, to any septic systems. The house that is just to the north of us, their property, God bless you. There's basically only one house over here, which you can see to the north of us, and their property wraps around here. There's an existing septic system here, which obviously is in the buffer zone, but this house was built back, I think, the late 40s, early 50s, so that there's really no way that we could ever get a well and a septic system in here. Again, it would all be in the buffer, and obviously we could never get approval. So what we came up with the idea of having a well, and then to putting, as Mike said, putting in a handicap bathroom. In order to make the bathroom work, we spoke with the DEP, and I can get you the information, obviously we'll get the building inspector. We got a letter from the DEP saying that we could use, instead of having a septic tank and a septic system, is to have what's called a holding tank. And then the House of Prayer would then make arrangements with one of the honey dippers to clean it out, probably once every 2 months, or whatever is needed. So that's taken care of. So basically, to go back to that.
You have a permit for that already?
We have a letter from the DEP stating that under what conditions we can put it in.
Well, Mike, isn't it the Board of Health usually has to approve that or not?
Yes, but because it's in the DEP area or the wetland area, they have jurisdiction over it, and there will not be any septic system. It'll be a holding tank, so there is going to be something, a permit or something from DEP.
Probably an alarm or something.
Oh, yeah, of course. But to answer your question, the DEP will be contacting the Putnam County Health Department to tell them basically, as long as we meet their conditions, that it's okay with them.
Right, okay, so
and the Health Department says as long as they get the letter from the DEP, they'll give us the permit for the well. So it's what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
We already did the chickens.
Yeah.
But this
Very good.
But this structure will be part of the back of the church, correct? Not a blue porta potty on the.
That's something you see.
No, that's what I said I was going to add on to what you just said. Again, with the DEP, they indicated that if we put any additional structures onto the structure, that would be creating a whole new series of approvals. So what we're going to do is we're not going to put anything on the back. We're just going to put I think you've seen the plan. We have the handicap bathroom inside, just off the vestibule, which then actually works out good because the well is just about 20 feet off the building, and then we can tie that in from the crawl space under the church, under the bathroom, and into the toilet. And then, of course, the holding tank would be on the side.
You may be able to put a hydro air system in now, too, if you have water. and that could protect some of that wood inside there instead of being so dry.
Okay, excellent
Just a
suggestion.
thought. I mean,
Yeah, no.
easy for me to spend your money, but it's,
Well, if it helps the church, I'm sure they would be certainly
help the building.
entertain it.
Sounds like a second
It's
collection.
dry in there? It's dry? The wood's dry?
right now they have a forced hot air, correct?
It's a forced warm air system, the heat, right?
Yeah.
Forced warm air,
So-
and it's on as you come in, it's on the right side of the church.
So instead of using that dry air.
Yeah, you can put a
Hydro-
humidifier in
Yeah.
the system.
And I think I discussed that with Mike, but there is a crawl space underneath the existing church, so.
All right, and then you're adding a handicap ramp?
Oh, and then,
As part of this?
yes, we're also adding a handicap ramp on the front for the handicap, yes.
DEP's okay with that?
Well, even
Just
though.
wanna make sure. I
It's
just-
not an enclosed structure, that's,
fine.
and that's required by code, so
Good.
that he's relenting on that one. Plus the fact that, Mike, the handicap ramp is outside the buffer area. No, it's a good question.
Well, that's
That
true.
makes sense.
Yeah, on the map, it's outside, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So is any
So, Joe,
questions?
just, where's
What's that?
the handicap spot's gonna be paved and the rest of it's gravel? Or the other way around?
Say again?
The handicap spot's gonna be paved and the rest of it's gravel, or the other way around?
No, it's the handicap spot and is the paved area, because that's required by code.
That's what I,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I misunderstood you before, because it sounded like that was gonna be the gravel. I kept going.
No, no, no.
That's what you
What?
said.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said.
Yeah,
that.
you did say that.
Yeah, you said.
And the path, correct?
31 now.
Joel, the
Past your
path?
bedtime? The path, too.
Sorry.
Yes,
Good. So you'll have an actual path from the handicap spots to
to
that
the
ramp?
handicap ramp,
To
yes,
the ramp.
that's
Perfect.
correct.
All right,
Because
so
you
there's
don't,
no-
when you get those impervious pavers, they kind of get.
Oh, incidentally,
absolutely.
I spoke to some people about that, and they're going to get us information that there are certain pervious pavers that can be used for handicaps.
But they have to be filled with something special. in
Right,
the middle.
exactly,
Correct.
exactly.
Right, so that way.
So just, obviously, so it can get the drainage and going into the ground.
So there's no other property you can purchase to bring this into conformance, correct?
No, as I mentioned, the only property is this gentleman over here whose property actually wraps around us. So there's no other property.
Okay. All right, Julie, any questions?
No.
John?
No questions.
Phil? No questions. Just the church is beautiful, and it just reminds me of New England when you drive by.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Rose?
The only thing is, I hate to have to walk up that steep roof.
The footprint remains the same, correct?
Identical.
And I'm just, from a traffic standpoint, how often are services? Once a day,
No,
twice?
no, no, just once a week on Sunday.
Once a week, okay.
It's like the honeycomb hideout.
Nope.
All right, is there any input from the public on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion, second.
Seconded by Phil, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Joel.
Put your mask back on, Joe.
No, Joel, don't go anywhere.
Okay.
You're up again.
Application number 7, George and Robin Jones for variation of section 156-15, seeking permission for a lot line adjustment. Lot 1 is non-conforming. Property is located at 72 Lockwood Lane, Mopac, New York. Tax map 53.1-79.1 and 79.2.
Okay, this is the
Already sworn in.
situation up on Lockwood Road. There are two lots over here. Mr. and Mrs. Jones own this lot, and her parents own this lot. Unfortunately, her parents have passed on, and this property has been sold. However, all during the years when both families were here, they took the back area of the property and used it for the playground for their kids and so on and so forth. So when they sold it, the new people agreed that they would have no problem having this 12,000 square foot area be attached to the Joneses lot. So while the Joneses lot obviously has gotten 12,150 square feet larger, obviously this piece of property, the parents' property, has been reduced by that amount. And so this has been added on to, so no variance is required. But this lot has been reduced, so that's the one variance that we need, the area variance, to legalize that lot.
Okay, so simple lot line adjustment,
That's it.
nothing crazy.
I just wanted to know what the story was, why somebody moving up their land?
What'd you say?
I know, it's, it just.
I said, I
it
just
makes
wanted to know
sense.
what the story was, because why is somebody giving up a corner of
Story
their
was,
land? But
once
thank
upon-
you.
Once upon a time,
Yeah, I heard it.
I'll be honest with you, on this one, you wrote down 120,000 square feet required.
Yeah.
It's really 60 because the approval, when it went through the subdivision, when those lots were created, the lot area required was 60.
Oh, so-
So if you stick within what you were required when the map was filed, you don't necessarily maybe get the variance of the 120, but he's just under the 60, so.
All right, but this is less than what it's been advertised for, so.
yeah, this, actually, based on what Mike said, this variance is just going to be reduced.
It's
Right.
not as substantial as it appears, is what it is, but it's, we can use that number, it's just that there's,
Okay.
Okay, any questions on this from the board?
No questions, thank you.
No questions.
Good. All right, any input from the public on this application? I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Second.
Second.
Julie, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Joel.
Bye, Joel. Have a good night.
Aye.
You too, Joe.
Thanks, Laddie.
Who's green in your
Some of us celebrate St. Joseph's.
You have green in your name.
All right, last application is number 8 for Dave Farfaro for a variation of section 156-15, seeking permission to construct a 360-square-foot addition on the west side of existing house. Property is located at 32 Caroline Road West, Carmel, New York, tax map 43.17-1-67. Good evening, gentlemen. Both going to be speaking?
I'm Jim Coleman, I'm the architect, and I have Vin Fafaro here, who is the owner.
Okay, raise your right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Ma'am, just give your addresses, too, for the record, please.
It's the same address,
This-
32 Carroll
okay.
Road, Carmel, New York.
And your
It's,
address?
Jim Coleman, 217 Mountain Road, Pleasantville, New York.
You guys can use the portable mic. That one's a pain in the neck, so.
So, very briefly, the Fafaro's house was built 6.5 feet over the front yard setback, and they want to do an addition. They have a very young and large family. They want to do a 2-story addition, which has a new larger kitchen and a mudroom and a pantry, and then a playroom above. And the best place for the addition is to line it up with the facade of the existing house. So this is the existing house. This is this side over here, and this is where we are proposing an addition. And I have plans showing the addition, but you can see on the site plan, the house is located over the front yard setback, and this is where we're proposing an addition on the, at the side of the house.
Okay. So there's no other property you could purchase to bring it into conformance?
Correct. And the proposal is in conformance with all other zoning. It's a large lot, so we have plenty of lot coverage. There's no other setback issues. It's just the front yard setback is the issue.
Okay, and that's the most logical spot to build this because you're,
The
what
property's
what are you
very
adding? You're bringing-
Yeah, it is a steep slope, but it's also the way the house is organized, the existing kitchen, all the plumbing, the dining room
That's what I meant.
are right
So-
there, yes. Yeah.
For services, it's more convenient.
Right, and for how the house is
Cost
laid out,
conducive.
bedrooms above, et cetera.
Okay. Pretty straightforward. John, any questions? Silvio?
Nope.
Julie? Phil?
No questions, thank you.
Rose?
No, it's a small variance.
Wow, I'm surprised. No questions.
Really?
Getting tired.
All right. Is there any input from the public on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Phil, you're on fire tonight.
I'm trying.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, anybody need to take a break?
No.
No.
All right, we'll run straight through. Remind everybody, there's no input from the public on any of the applications now at this point. So, you had your chance to speak. All right, on application number 1, Howlers, I look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Seconded by Silvio.
Yeah, sure.
That was like simultaneously perfect.
I'm not saying anything the rest of the night.
All right.
No.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's granted. Application number 2, Keo. Look
Motion
for a
to grant?
motion.
Rose Grant.
Rose, do I have a second?
Second.
Julie, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That's granted. Number 3, Finelli,
Motion to grant.
do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, granted. Number 4, Mateo,
Motion to grant. With the
Yes.
condition that the chicken coop is removed and there's no chickens on the property.
do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
By John. Any other discussion?
I'm not all that happy with the gazebo, and I think it could be removed. I don't think it's necessary, but that's just my feeling.
Okay. Any other input? I'll do roll call vote on this one. John, you for the motion or against the motion?
For the motion,
Silvio?
For the motion.
with the
Julie?
condition.
Rose?
4.
Against.
I'm for the motion, so it's granted. It's been there for a while.
Yeah, that was one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I conditioned the original motion. Thank you.
All right, number 5,
Motion to
Pat
grant. Motion to grant.
do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Granted. Number 6, House of Prayer and Worship, do I have a motion?
Motion to grant.
Phil, second.
Second.
By Silvio, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's granted. Number 7, Jones, look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a
Second.
second? By Rose, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That's granted. And finally, number 8, look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Silvio, any discussion?
Sorry, Rose.
All in favor?
Aye.
You, Julie? Or Rose? Oh,
Okay.
Sorry, Julie.
Minutes
Minutes.
from
Minutes.
January 28th, 2021. I think Rose, or was that the previous month?
That was the one that I
Yeah,
adjusted.
so-
Motion to accept with
With
changes.
As corrected
That's
by
correct.
Dawn, we got the other day via email. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next month's meeting will be on regular, the 4th Thursday. I don't know what that date is, so you guys are all good? Any,
What day is that?
April 22nd.
It's the
I don't
fourth
know if
Thursday, Joe.
April 22nd is the next meeting.
April 22nd. All
Back on
right.
Thursdays.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Pat's.
Happy St.
Easter.
Joseph's Day.
Good luck.
Happy Passover, all the fun stuff.
Happy St. Joseph's Day.
My mother's Delaney. My mom reminds me of Irish from the neck up.